night sky was quiet. The city lights glowed far below, but high above, something strange moved in the darkness. A shape black and sharp cut through the clouds like a shadow with wings. No one on Earth noticed. They were busy with their lives, sleeping, working, or dreaming. But in the silence of the sky, an alien assassin had arrived. He was not here by chance. His people had given him a mission. A simple mission, but also the most important of his life. He had to find one human, one small creature among billions, and kill her. This assassin had no name that humans could speak. His body was tall, lean, and built for speed. His skin shone faintly under the moonlight, a color between silver and black. His eyes glowed like burning coals, sharp and cold. Every step he took was silent, every movement calculated. He had killed many targets before. To him, life was only orders, nothing else. But this mission felt different. Why would his people fear a human? Humans were weak, short-lived, and unimportant in the eyes of the galaxy. Yet the Council of Assassins spoke in whispers. They said this human girl was dangerous. They said her future could shape the stars. And so, she had to die before her secret was known. The assassin landed in the shadows of an empty street. His black cloak wrapped around him like night itself. He pulled out a small device, no larger than a stone. The device showed her image, a young woman with soft eyes and a gentle smile. She looked ordinary, so ordinary that no one would ever notice her in a crowd. Yet this was the face of the target. He spoke no words. He only thought, I will watch. I will strike. I will finish this quickly. The next day, the girl lived her life like always. She walked through the busy city streets carrying books in her arms. She stopped to help an old man cross the road. She smiled at children playing near the park. She even gave her food to a strayed dog that wagged its tail happily. The assassin followed from the shadows. His red eyes never blinked. He measured her steps, her habits, her routines. He saw no weapon, no army, no power, just a human with kindness in her heart. It made no sense. Why would the galaxy fear this? The assassin's orders were clear. Do not wait. Do not think. Kill the target. Yet every time he raised his hidden blade, something stopped him. Her laugh, her kindness, the way she treated even strangers like friends, it was strange. His people taught him never to feel. But when he watched her, a strange spark burned in his chest. Something he could not name. Something dangerous. That night, the assassin stood on the rooftop above her apartment. The city buzzed with cars and neon lights. Below, the girl sat near her window, reading a book. Her lamp cast a golden glow across her face. She looked peaceful, unaware that death was only a few breaths away. He gripped his weapon. His hand did not move. His mission echoed in his mind. Kill her. End her life. The future depends on it. But another thought whispered inside him, softer but stronger. Why her? Why must she die? For the first time in his life, the assassin hesitated. His heart beat faster. His vision blurred. He felt weak but also alive. The girl suddenly looked up from her book. Her eyes moved toward the window. She frowned. She felt something, someone watching. The assassin froze in the shadows. Her gaze moved closer, closer, almost as if she could see through the night, and then she spoke. Her voice was soft, but it struck like thunder in his heart. Who's there? The assassin's breath stopped. She had sensed him. No human should be able to feel his presence. Yet this one did. He pulled back into the darkness, silent as a ghost. But his mind was no longer silent. Something about her was wrong. Something about her was powerful. She was not ordinary. She was not weak. The assassin clenched his fists. He had come to kill her, but instead, he felt something else rising inside him, fear, curiosity, and something even more dangerous. At that moment, he realized the truth. This mission would not be simple. This human was different, and he was no longer sure if he wanted her dead. The assassin leaves the rooftop with his heart full of questions. For the first time, the galaxy's deadliest killer is unsure of his mission, and unsure of himself. The assassin thought the night would hide him. He was trained to be unseen, a shadow in every world. But this human girl had felt him. She had looked up at her window and asked, "Who's there?" Those two words echoed in his mind long after he had escaped into the dark. For the first time in his life, he wondered if he was the hunter, or if he was being hunted. The next morning, the girl woke early. She lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city. Nothing about her life was special. She made her breakfast, smiled at her neighbors, and walked to the library where she worked. To her, it was another simple day. But to the assassin, every step she took was a puzzle. He followed her carefully, blending into crowds, hiding behind corners, always near but never seen. His sharp alien senses watched everything, her heartbeat, her movements, even the way her eyes softened when she looked at people. She helped a child reach for a book on the highest shelf. She greeted an old woman by name. She laughed with a friend on the phone. The assassin studied these actions with cold eyes. Kindness, warmth, care. These were not weapons, but somehow they were powerful. He felt them piercing through his armor, breaking into places inside him that had never felt before. This is weakness, he told himself. She has no strength. She has no army. Enter. Finish the mission. But his hands refused to move. Every time he reached for his blade, his chest tightened, as if something inside fought against him. Hours passed. He followed her to the park when her work was finished. The evening sun painted the sky orange and gold. The girl sat on a bench, feeding crumbs to the same stray dog she had helped the day before. The assassin stood hidden behind a tree. His weapon glimmered faintly under his cloak. This was the perfect time. She was alone, unaware. One strike and the mission would be complete. He raised his arm. The blade unfolded silently, sharp as death, and then she looked up. Her eyes, gentle and bright, locked directly onto the place where he was hiding. The assassin froze. No human should see him. He was invisible, his cloak bending light and shadow, yet her gaze pierced through the illusion, straight into his soul. She tilted her head slightly. Then she smiled. "Why are you hiding?" she asked softly, as if she had known he was there all along. The assassin stepped back, shaken. No enemy had ever spoken to him like this. No target had ever looked at him with eyes full of kindness instead of fear. For a long moment, he said nothing. His orders screamed inside him, "Strike now! Kill her before she discovers you." But something stronger held him still. The girl stood up and walked toward the tree. The stray dog followed at her side, wagging its tail. Step by step, she came closer. The assassin's heart raced. He wanted to vanish, but his legs betrayed him. He stayed. Finally, she stopped only a few steps away. She looked directly at the shadows where he stood. "I don't know why," she whispered, "but I feel you are not here to hurt me." The assassin's mind roared. She was wrong. He was here to hurt her, to kill her, and yet, in that moment, hearing her words, he wished it wasn't true. He turned away quickly, leaping into the air with silent speed. In the blink of an eye, he vanished across the rooftops, leaving her standing under the tree, but he could still hear her voice in his ears. "Not here to hurt me." That night, back in his hidden lair, the assassin activated his communicator. A cold voice from the Council of Assassins filled the room. "Report. Is the target eliminated?" He hesitated. His hand shook. No one had ever seen him hesitate. "Not yet," he finally answered. "Not yet." The voice grew sharper. "You are the best of us. Delay is not acceptable. The human must die before her power awakens. Do you understand?" The assassin lowered his head. "I understand," but inside he felt the truth burning. He no longer understood anything. Who was this human girl? Why could she sense him? Why did she look at him not with fear but with trust? And why did his chest ache every time he thought of her smile? For the first time in his life, the assassin felt doubt. For the first time, he felt human. But the council was right about one thing. Something inside this girl was hidden, something even she did not yet know. And when it awakened, the galaxy would never be the same. The assassin lies awake, haunted by her voice. Far away, the stars stir with whispers of change. Another assassin has already been sent, and this one will not hesitate. The assassin had survived countless missions. He had faced warriors with blades of fire, soldiers with weapons that could shatter worlds, even beasts born from black holes. He had never once doubted his orders. But now for the first time he doubted himself. He could still hear her words in his mind. "I feel you are not here to hurt me." It was dangerous, almost foolish, but every time he remembered her face, his hands shook. He had been trained to kill without emotion, yet his heart betrayed him. The Council of Assassins did not forgive hesitation. If they suspected weakness, they would send another to finish the mission, and to eliminate him as well. That night, in the shadows of his lair, he opened the device again. The girl's image appeared in glowing light. She was just human, simple, fragile. But behind her soft smile, he saw something strange, something his people feared. The council had whispered of it. They called it the spark. The spark was not a weapon, not a machine, not even knowledge. It was something hidden deep inside certain humans, a power that could awaken without warning, a power that could bend energy, touch minds, or even change fate itself. Most humans never discovered it, but the ones who did could change the course of galaxies, and this girl carried it. The assassin clenched his jaw. His orders were clear: destroy the spark before it awakened. End her life. Remove the threat. But his heart whispered another truth. Maybe she was not a threat at all. Maybe she was hope. The next day he followed her again. This time he kept his distance, trying to silence his thoughts. The girl walked through the city streets with the same kindness as before. She helped a young boy who had dropped his books. She gave her umbrella to a stranger caught in the rain. Every action seemed small, but to the assassin it was terrifying. This was her power. Not destruction, not war, but something his people could not understand. Compassion. He thought of the empires he had seen fall, the worlds reduced to ashes, all destroyed by greed, fear, and cruelty. But this girl, she carried the opposite, and somehow it was stronger. As the sun set, she walked home alone. The streets grew darker. The assassin followed silently. But then a sound split the night, a sharp hiss like air tearing apart. The assassin's senses sharpened instantly. Another shadow stepped out from the darkness. It was not human. A second assassin had arrived. This one was larger, heavier, with jagged armor and eyes like frozen steel. He carried no cloak, no subtlety. His blade was already drawn. The first assassin's blood ran cold. The council had sent a replacement. They had sensed his hesitation. The girl stopped walking. She looked around, sensing danger. The second assassin moved closer, silent but deadly. His blade gleamed under the streetlights. The first assassin's heart thundered. He could let it happen. He could let the mission finish. His problem would be solved. But when he saw the girl's frightened eyes, something inside him snapped. Without thinking, he leapt from the shadows. His own blade clashed against the other assassin's with a burst of sparks. The sound echoed through the empty street. The girl gasped, stumbling back. Her eyes widened at the sight, two figures, not human, locked in battle with weapons of light and death. The second assassin snarled, his voice cold as stone. "You betray the council." The first assassin growled back, his blade pressing against the others. "She is not what they think. She is a danger to all of us." The second roared. "She must die before her power awakens." The girl froze. Power? What did that mean? She looked at her hands, confused, afraid. The first assassin struck hard, forcing his enemy back. The fight was fast, brutal. Blades cut through the air, sparks rained across the street, stone cracked beneath their feet. The girl watched, trembling, unable to understand what she was seeing. Then, in the middle of the fight, the second assassin's blade sliced across the first's shoulder. A deep wound opened, glowing with alien light. He staggered. His blood spilled onto the ground, dark and shining. The girl's eyes widened. Without thinking, she ran forward. "Wait!" she cried, reaching him. Her hand touched his wound, and in that instant, something impossible happened. The bleeding stopped. The wound began to close. Light spread from her fingers, warm and golden, wrapping around his body. The first assassin gasped. He had never felt such energy before. It was soft, yet it carried the weight of a star. The second assassin froze, his eyes wide. "It has begun," he hissed. Her spark. "It awakens." The girl fell back, breathing hard, her hands glowing faintly. She stared at them in shock. What did I just do?" The first assassin's mind spun. The secret was real. The girl's power had awakened. And now the galaxy would come for her. The girl trembles in fear, staring at her glowing hands. The first assassin knows the truth. She cannot hide anymore. The spark has awakened, and soon the whole galaxy will know. The street was silent after the fight. The second assassin's words echoed like thunder in the girl's ears. Her spark. It awakens. She looked at her hands, still glowing faintly, trembling with fear. She had healed a wound that should have killed. She had touched something impossible. The first assassin stood between her and the second, his blade raised, blood still staining his cloak. His eyes burned, not with duty, but with something new. Something dangerous. The second assassin's voice cut through the night. "Step aside." You have failed the council. I will finish the mission. The girl backed away slowly. She did not understand who these creatures were or why they were fighting over her. She only knew one thing. If the second assassin reached her, she would die. But the first assassin did not move. His voice was low, steady, filled with defiance. No, she lives. The second assassin's face twisted with rage. You betray us all for a human. The first assassin tightened his grip on the blade. His entire life had been built on loyalty, on following orders without question. But now, standing in front of her, he realized his loyalty had changed. He was no longer fighting for the council. He was fighting for her. The second assassin lunged, his strike swift and merciless. Their blades clashed again, sparks lighting the street like lightning. The girl gasped, pressing herself against the wall, powerless to stop the chaos. The two assassins fought with deadly precision, each movement a blur. Their weapons sliced through air, shattering stone, tearing metal. Cars nearby crumpled under the force of their blows. The ground cracked. It was not a fight, it was a storm. The girl could only watch, heart pounding, as the first assassin bled again and again, refusing to step aside. You're weak, the second snarled. You've let her infect you with human emotions. The first assassin growled, blocking another strike. Maybe emotions are not weakness. Maybe they are strength. The second's blade cut deep into his arm. He staggered, almost falling. The girl cried out, rushing forward without thinking. Stop! Please, she begged. Her voice shook the air, soft yet powerful. Both assassins froze for a heartbeat. The glow in her hands returned, brighter this time. She reached for the wounded assassin again. No! The second assassin roared, swinging his blade toward her. The first assassin moved faster than he had ever moved before. His body blurred, his blade clashing with the strike meant for her. Sparks exploded, and for a moment the night was filled with fire. The girl stumbled back, fear and confusion in her eyes. Why was he protecting her? Why would someone sent to kill her risk everything for her life? The second assassin hissed, his voice filled with fury. You are lost. The council will burn you both. The galaxy will never forgive this betrayal. He raised his blade high, but before he could strike, a sharp whistle echoed through the night. A signal. The second assassin's eyes flicked upward. High above in the sky, faint lights appeared. Ships descending fast. Reinforcements. He sneered. Your time is over. They are coming. And with that, he leapt into the shadows, vanishing into the night. The first assassin fell to one knee, breathing hard. His body shook with exhaustion, his wounds heavy. The girl ran to him, kneeling at his side. You're hurt, she whispered, pressing her glowing hands to his chest. Warm light spread through him again, knitting broken flesh, calming the fire in his blood. He looked at her, his red eyes softer than ever. You saved me again. She shook her head. I don't understand what's happening. Why me? Why are they trying to kill me? The assassin hesitated. For the first time, he told the truth. You are not ordinary. Inside you is the spark, a power that can heal or destroy. My people fear it. They fear what you might become. That is why I was sent to kill you. Her heart stopped. She pulled her hands back slowly. Yes, you were sent to kill me. He lowered his head, shame in his voice. Yes, but I will not now. Not ever. Silence stretched between them. The girl stared at him, torn between fear and trust. He had admitted he was her enemy, yet he had saved her life. Finally, she whispered, Then what will you do? The assassin lifted his gaze to the sky where the lights of ships grew brighter. His voice was steady but filled with something new, resolve. I will protect you. The girl's breath caught. Protect her? Against his own people? Against the entire galaxy? The assassin stood, his blade glowing faintly in the dark. They will come for you now. More will follow. Stronger, faster, merciless. You must be ready. She shook her head, fear in her voice. I'm just human. I don't know how to fight. He stepped closer, his voice low but certain. You are not just human anymore. The spark is awake. And soon you will see what you truly are. The girl trembled, her heart torn between terror and hope. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe that her strange new power was more than a curse. Above them, the lights of the ships cut through the clouds. The hunt was not over. It had only begun. The sky fills with enemy ships. The assassin stands ready to protect her, even against his own kind. The girl clutches her glowing hands, realizing her life will never be the same again. The night sky burned with lights. Alien ships hovered above the city, silent but menacing. Their shadows stretched across the streets, making the world below feel small and trapped. The girl stood frozen, her glowing hands trembling. She had never seen anything like this. The assassin stepped in front of her, his blade raised, his red eyes locked on the sky. "They are here for you," he said. His voice was calm, but his chest carried the weight of storms. The ships opened, and dark figures dropped down one by one. Armored assassins, their weapons glimmering like shards of death. At their center was the second assassin, his jagged armor gleaming, his cold eyes fixed on the girl. "You cannot protect her," the second assassin growled. "She is dangerous. She is a threat to all. Step aside before you die with her." The first assassin gripped his blade tighter. "If she is danger, I will face it. But she will not die by your hand." The girl's heart raced. These words, he was defending her against his own kind. She did not know why, but it gave her courage. The assassins charged. The battle began with an explosion of sound and fury. Blades clashed, sparks flew, and the air itself shook. The first assassin moved like lightning, cutting down two enemies in an instant. His cloak swirled around him, a blur of shadow and steel. But they were many, and he was only one. The girl cried out as another blade struck his side. He staggered but did not fall. His weapon whirled, slicing through armor, his eyes burning with defiance. The second assassin watched, waiting. His voice carried across the chaos. "You cannot fight us all. You are lost. She will burn the galaxy and you will burn with her." The girl pressed her back against the wall, fear choking her. Her hands glowed again, brighter now, but she didn't know how to control it. The light flickered, wild and unsteady, like a flame in the wind. One assassin broke through the fight and rushed toward her. His blade lifted high, ready to strike. The girl screamed, throwing her hands out. Light exploded. The assassin was thrown backward, his armor cracking as he crashed into a car. The glow from her hand spread across the street, bending metal, shattering glass. For a moment, the whole world was bathed in golden fire. The first assassin turned, his eyes wide. She had done it again. Her spark was growing stronger. The second assassin smiled coldly. "Yes, it awakens. Do you see now? She will not save you. She will destroy everything." The girl fell to her knees, gasping. The power inside her burned hot, almost too much to bear. She looked at her trembling hands, horrified. What am I?" The first assassin cut down another enemy and ran to her side. He placed his hand on her shoulder. His voice was steady, even in the storm. "You are not a monster. You are more than they fear. You are hope." She looked into his eyes. For the first time, she believed him. But the second assassin was not finished. He leapt forward, his blade slamming into the first assassin's weapon. The clash echoed like thunder. Sparks flew as the two locked in combat, their strength nearly equal. The fight between them was brutal. Strike after strike, blow after blow, their blades sang with fury. One fought for the council. The other fought for her. The girl watched, her heart breaking. The first assassin's wounds were deep. He was slowing, his breath ragged. The second assassin was stronger, fueled by anger and loyalty to the council. Finally, with a roar, the second assassin drove his blade across the first's chest. The sound of tearing armor filled the night. The first assassin staggered back, blood spilling. "No!" the girl cried, running to him. She caught him before he fell, her glowing hands pressing to his wound. Light poured out of her, trying to heal, trying to save. The second assassin raised his weapon high for the killing strike. But before it could fall, a surge of golden energy erupted from the girl. It blasted outward, throwing the second assassin across the street. The shockwave shattered windows and split the ground. The girl stood, her body glowing like a star. Her eyes burned with light, her hair lifting in the wind of her own power. "I said stop," she cried, her voice echoing with force beyond human. The second assassin rose slowly. His armor cracked, his face twisted in shock. "Impossible. She controls it already." The other assassins froze, fear in their eyes. None dared move closer. The first assassin, weak but alive, looked up at her in awe. She was no longer just a girl. She was becoming something greater, something the galaxy had whispered about but never seen. She turned to him, her glowing hands trembling. "I don't want to hurt anyone. But if they keep coming, I will." He reached for her hand, his voice soft. "Then I will stand with you, always." Above them, the ships began to move again. More were coming. The council would not stop. The battle was far from over. The girl's spark is unleashed in full for the first time, terrifying the assassins. The council now knows she is awake. More ships approach, and the war for her future has only just begun. The street was broken, scattered with smoke and sparks. Glass crunched underfoot, and the air still glowed faintly with golden light. The other assassins had fled into the shadows, too shaken by what they had witnessed. Only the second assassin remained, watching with cold eyes. He had seen the truth. Her spark was real and it was strong, but he did not attack again. Not yet. With a hiss of rage, he retreated into the night, vanishing back into the ships above. The girl stood trembling in the middle of the ruined street. Her hand still glowed faintly, light pulsing like a heartbeat. She looked down at them with wide, fearful eyes. What am I becoming? The first assassin staggered beside her, his wounds half healed by her touch. His voice was low, steady, but heavy with meaning. You are becoming what the galaxy fears, and what it needs. She turned to him sharply, tears burning in her eyes. Don't say that. I don't want this. I don't want to be some weapon, her voice cracked. The light in her hands dimmed, fading back into human skin. She sank to her knees, pressing her face into her hands. The assassin knelt in front of her, his armor broken, his blood still fresh. He had never been this weak in battle. Yet in this moment it was not his body that ached most, it was his heart. You are not a weapon, he said softly. You are life. I have seen what you can do. You heal, you protect. That is not destruction. That is something greater. She looked up at him, her eyes wet. But why me? Out of all the humans in this world, why me? The assassin hesitated. His orders screamed inside him. Never reveal the council's secrets. But now, with her looking at him, he could not lie. Because, he said finally, I was sent to kill you. The words hung heavy in the air, sharper than any blade. The girl's face paled. She stepped back slowly, her breath caught in her throat. You were sent to kill me? His eyes lowered in shame. Yes, that was my mission. That was all I knew. I was told you were dangerous, that your spark would destroy everything. They said the safest path was your death. Her hands shook. Fear and betrayal fought inside her. She had trusted him. He had saved her life. And yet, behind all of it, his first purpose was her end. Then why didn't you do it? She whispered, her voice breaking. The assassin looked up at her, his red eyes burning with something new. Not cold, not anger. Something warm. Because I saw you, he said. I watched you live. I watched your kindness. I saw you give food to the hungry, smiles to strangers, warmth to those who had nothing. You showed me something my people never taught me. Compassion. And for the first time I felt something I could not fight. She stared at him silent, her heart racing. His voice grew softer, almost trembling. I felt love. The word seemed foreign, heavy, yet full of truth. He had never spoken it before. Never even understood it. But here, standing before her, he knew no other word would fit. The girl's eyes widened. Her breath caught. She wanted to deny it, to call it madness. An alien assassin, a killer of worlds, speaking of love. Yet when she looked into his eyes, she saw no lie. Her tears spilled freely. Her chest tightened, not with fear now, but with confusion. A storm of feelings swirled inside her. Fear, doubt, but also warmth, hope, and something dangerously close to the same emotion he had confessed. She reached out slowly, her hand brushing against his. His skin was strange, almost metallic, yet warm beneath her touch. I don't know what to feel, she whispered. You were meant to end me. But instead, you protect me. Why? Why risk everything? He held her gaze, steady and unshaken. Because my life means nothing if it is without you. The silence that followed was louder than battle. Her heart pounded in her ears. She pulled her hand back, trembling, unsure what to say. Far above, the ships shifted in the night sky. The council would not wait long. Their next strike would be greater, deadlier. The girl stood slowly, wiping her tears. Her voice shook, but she tried to steady it. Then tell me this. If you stand with me, what happens when the rest of your people come? What happens when they force you to choose between me and them? The assassin rose to his full height, towering above her, but his voice was quiet, almost human. Then I will choose you. Her breath caught. His words were impossible, dangerous, maybe even foolish, but they carried a weight that felt real. She looked at him long and hard, searching for doubt. She found none. Finally, she whispered, Then what happens now? The assassin glanced at the sky, his blade still in his hand. Now the galaxy comes for us both. The assassin confesses his mission and his love. The girl struggles with fear and trust. Above them, the Council's ships prepare for war. Their choice is clear: run, fight, or be destroyed together. The night sky cracked open with fire. Dozens of alien ships descended, their shadows spreading over the city like the wings of a giant beast. The air trembled with the hum of their engines. Windows shattered. Alarms screamed. Humanity looked up in fear, but none knew the true reason for the invasion. They were not here for the city. They were here for one human girl. The assassin stood tall in the broken street, his blade glowing faintly in the darkness. The girl stood beside him, her hands trembling, faint light flickering across her skin. She whispered, her voice heavy with dread. "They're coming for me." He looked at her, his red eyes burning with resolve. "No, they're coming for us." The ships landed. The ground shook as lines of armored assassins poured out. At their front was a figure larger than the rest, an elder of the council, his armor carved with symbols of power, his voice like thunder. "You have betrayed us," the elder declared, his gaze locked on the first assassin. "You were sent to end the spark. Instead, you let it rise." The assassin's blade tightened in his grip. His voice was steady. "I have seen the truth. She is not the destroyer you fear. She is more than that." The elder raised his hand. "She is danger. Her existence threatens the balance of the stars. Step aside and you may yet live." The girl's breath caught. Her heart pounded. She looked at the assassin beside her. For a moment she feared he would falter, that he would choose his people, his duty over her. But his answer came without hesitation. "I will not step aside. I will protect her, even if it costs me everything." The elder's eyes narrowed, his voice cut like a blade. "Then you are no longer one of us. You are enemy." A roar of energy filled the air as the assassins raised their weapons. Blades gleamed. The street lit with sparks. The girl trembled. She whispered, "We can't win this. There are too many." The assassin looked down at her, his voice low but filled with fire. "We do not need to win. We only need to choose. Choose to stand." The first wave struck. The assassin moved like lightning, cutting through steel and shadow. His body bled, his breath strained, but he did not fall. He fought not for orders, not for glory, but for her. The girl pressed her glowing hands to the air, trying to control the spark within her. Golden light burst outward, forming a shield around them. Blades struck it and shattered. Enemies stumbled back, their eyes wide with fear. Her power grew brighter, stronger, harder to contain. The ground cracked beneath her feet. The air hummed with her energy, but with every surge she felt the danger too. The spark wanted more. It wanted to burn everything, not just their enemies. "I can't hold it," she cried. "It's too strong." The assassin reached her side, his blade still dripping with battle. He took her hands in his voice sharp but steady. "Listen to me. You are not a weapon. You are not what they fear. You are human, and that is your strength." Her eyes filled with tears. "What if I lose control? What if I destroy everything?" He leaned close, his voice a whisper meant only for her. "Then I will be at your side always. If you fall, I fall. But I believe you will rise." The girl's chest shook with fear and hope. Slowly she closed her eyes. She breathed deeply, and for the first time she did not fight the spark. She embraced it. Light exploded from her body, brighter than the sun. The entire street, the entire city bathed in golden fire. The assassin stumbled back, blinded. The elder raised his arms, but even his power could not stand against it. The spark flowed not with rage, but with compassion. The girl's voice rang out, steady, filled with strength. "Enough!" The golden wave spread outward, striking every assassin. But instead of killing them, it pushed them back, disarming them, breaking their blades. Their armor cracked, their bodies dropped to their knees. The elder fought hardest, but even he faltered. His blade shattered. His knees hit the ground. His voice trembled with fury. This is impossible. You cannot control it." The girl stepped forward, her body glowing, her eyes burning with light. "I am not here to destroy. I am here to heal." The elder snarled, but his strength was gone. The ships above flickered, engines faltering. One by one they pulled back into the sky, retreating into the clouds. Silence fell. The golden glow slowly faded from the girl's hands. She fell to her knees, breathing hard, exhausted but alive. The assassin rushed to her side, catching her before she fell. His arms wrapped around her, steady and warm. "You did it," he whispered, her voice shook. "No, we did it. For a long moment, there was only silence between them. The city was broken but alive. The assassins were gone. The council had been defeated, at least for now. The girl looked at him, her eyes soft. What happens now? He held her close, his gaze fixed on the stars above. His voice was calm but heavy with truth. Now the galaxy knows you exist. They will come again, stronger, but I will stand with you. Always. She smiled weakly, resting her head against his chest. Then let them come. The assassin closed his eyes for the first time in his life, feeling peace. He had broken every law of his people, abandoned his duty, risked everything. But he had chosen. He had chosen her, and in that choice he had found something greater than any mission, greater than any war. He had found love. The assassin and the girl stand together looking at the stars. The galaxy will hunt them, but they are no longer afraid. A human and an alien, two souls against the universe.